Hi everyone, it's Ketty. Welcome to Somatic Sensing into Moments. This is a little 4-part course with 15-minute videos delivered every day for 4 days for you to go through a range of psychophysical motions, which are basically motions that are sensed and felt from the inside of your body that can then produce or support actions in your everyday life. And of course, you may know that I am the creator of the FunLife Planner, which I really love because when you see this vertical spread, you actually visually see your whole week at a glance, and you can start to identify patterns of when you have more energy, when you need downtime and need to rest, or when you're really able to focus on projects. We are so multidimensional in the way we process our movement relationship to our mind. So if we start from the body, it's a great place to get very instinctive. And I love that feeling of working from the inside out. Everybody is welcome in this space, and I'd like to thank you in advance for being here. I appreciate that you're here with me. Okay, so day one, our first day, we're going to begin with initiation. What is initiation? It normally comes from the breath. So let's look at how we can use our breath to help us initiate something, whether it be a project or getting up and doing something. The breath and the intention is really important. Okay, bring your feet down onto the ground. Make sure that your toes and heels are nice and flat and connected to the earth. Okay, allow yourself to sink softly into the ground. Imagine the ground being a magnet that pulls you. So this is our earthy aspect, and then we're going to raise our arms up with a full breath, breathing in, and take it down. So this is what we call the vertical weight sensing breath. We breathe in, and as we do, we get lighter. We breathe out, and as we exhale, we get heavier and stronger. I'm going to step back just a touch so you can see more of what's going on. Let's breathe in and out. One more time in. Lift your palms and then put your palms down to the ground, out. A vertical breath, if you just make 2 circles in front of you like that, and then join them up to become one big circle or an arc, that is what we call the vertical plane. And anything in the vertical will help us go from low to high, or from strong to light. So let's imagine ourselves strong as we gather from the earth, and then light as we come up to the sky. Ready? Strong, bend your knees, gather the earth energy, and up, and then out. Pushing back down to ground, feeling it heavier in your feet. Breathing in and out. Why do I love a vertical breath? Because it gets you straight into your weight sensing self, which means you feel your density and your gravity, but you also feel your lightness and your levity. In belly dancing, we often do movements like this, and they really help us go from earth to sky and feel the stretching sensation in our body. One more vertical breath and out. So if you can do 4 or 5 vertical breaths every day with your feet planted on the floor, and if you need to be in a chair, sitting down, but still with your feet planted on the floor, you'll find it'll give your brain a signal to be ready to begin to initiate. Let's now look at the space sensing breath, and that is a wide horizontal breath. So what we're going to do, we're going to breathe in, and then compress out. We're going to breathe in, open wide, and exhale. Compress the breath and the lungs. Breathe, compress, wide, expansive and accepting, and then compress down into a small space. So this I call the space sensing breath because it can make you determine whether you want to embrace a large space or go into a very small and intimate space in sensation in yourself. Do you want your whole body to experience wide space and integration with the environment, or do you want to hone and focus and find a sense of stillness and peace within? Or do you want both? So the horizontal breath is, if you imagine you're wiping a table like that or a bench, it's going around in circles at the top or one large circle. Okay, so one last horizontal space sensing breath, breathing in, compress, lovely. Space sensing is great for the next movement we're going to do, but I'm focusing first on just breathing and initiating. Now the other breath we're going to do is a little different. It's a sagittal breath, and sagittal space is front and back. So what we're going to do here is we're going to open like this. Allow our chest to come forward and push back. Chest compresses, a sternum kind of caves in. Now sternum comes out as you press in. Okay, so what we do is we press our chest into the space and then away from the space. Bulging breath, we call this. And this is the time sensing breath, where we determine whether we want to move forward or do we want to move back. Do we want to move in a way that's sustained or do we want to go fast? So the time sensing breath is denoted by the sagittal space. Again, your body can sway a bit. With this one, I like to put one foot in front of the other. It just helps with that sagittal aspect. So that's our breath pattern. Let's do them all together. Now, I like to imagine the sagittal as a wheel, the horizontal as a table, or tabletop, and the vertical as a frame. Okay, so let's first start with vertical frame. Weight sensing breath. Open out table. Space sensing breath and wheel. Time sensing breath. So doing your three-dimensional breath every morning is a wonderful way to prepare yourself to begin at least thinking, at least planning, at least having the intention to start something. And intention is good. Intention, rumination, consideration, contemplation, all of those things are really vital to beginning something. One more time, are you ready? Vertical. Horizontal. Sagittal. The breath energizes the lungs, and the lungs have a wonderful somatic relationship with the legs. So, this is a great exercise to do just walking around the house or in the garden as well. Now, I'm walking on the spot here. Obviously, I have a small space. I can't walk around. But when you start adding the legs to the action, because legs actually work with lungs, they help support the action of the lungs. Where you twist starts to twist your lungs. What we're going to do here is imagine that we're walking. Okay, you're just doing a walk. You can be walking outside in your garden, on your balcony, around your bedroom. And if you can't do this walking because you're in a chair or you're confined to a space where you can't actually physically move your legs, just see if you can tap your feet up and down on the floor. If you can't tap your feet, if you have a wheelchair, you can actually allow that chair to move. Of course, you won't be able to use your arms for the breath, but it's more intentional. Right, okay, here we go. We're going to start with a walk or a tapping of the feet on the floor. And as we walk, we create a rhythm. Boom, 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 boom. Rhythm is grounding. Boom, 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 boom. It's a great pulse just to get you there in the present moment. And the feet are a great way also to get you into the moment, the earthy presence of being there. Are you ready? 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4 with a breath. And with a breath. With a breath. One more. Keep walking. Now, walking is actually an ultimate sagittal exercise. It tells you I'm going forward, I'm moving forward. 2, 3, 4. So you can walk and move, creating a pulse underneath you that's very earthy and really brings you into the present moment, as well as doing your walking sagittal, horizontal and vertical breath. I often do this when I'm walking. I don't really care what the cars around think, but I often walk like this. I'll actually stretch my arms into the linear dimensions. Okay, so I will go up, vertical. I'm walking down. I'll just walk in the park, on the street. I don't care. And I go lifting up. I go in, exhale, in. I keep a pulse with my feet. Exhale, in, exhale, and in, exhale, and out. And in, and out like I'm swimming, and in, and out, and in. I'm walking, and that walking in itself is a sagittal space, but I also go in, and out, and in, and out, and in, and out. And you know what? That actually energizes the body and gets lots of blood flow going through the body. And again, I'd say if you're in a chair, maybe get someone to push you, someone whose feet are working, and get someone to push you. And as they push you, you're still getting a sense of momentum. So the brain's getting a message that you're okay. Some people have a walking stick, so it's a little bit harder for them to do it with both arms. But how about use your walking stick, and even if you're going slowly, use one arm like this. In and out. And in and out. And then if you're okay with changing arms, in and out. Because a lot of people using a walking stick could use their legs to better capacity if they were supported somehow. So this is a good support to open your lungs as you're using a stick. My father uses a walking stick, and I know it can be challenging to navigate space and move around, but it's a wonderful way of getting some oxygen and breath into the body. So everyone, that's our first exercise, initiation. If we get stuck in initiation and we're planning, ruminating, considering, contemplating, just thinking and thinking about it and thinking, yeah, I'll get this done, and not sure about the breath, and you sort of keep your breath inside, this can manifest as something that people feel very ashamed of. It's called procrastination. Procrastination has been shamed a lot. Procrastination, I don't necessarily think is inherently bad. I think procrastination is sometimes us just not being quite ready to start something. But if you feel you want a little bit of a gentle nudge and push, I would say just begin any project or thought or action intended with breath. Vertical. I sense myself. Horizontal. I sense space and me. And sagittal. I can move into it, or I can move away from it. I have a choice. So we're telling our brain a lot of really important information here to make us feel more secure in moving into a project or an idea or an action. This now is about boundary setting. It's important if we have an action to do, there are some boundaries around it. I'm going to do this and this and this pertaining to that action. I'm not going to do this and this and this or superfluous stuff, because this is what helps you focus. So if you just choose a few basics for an action, like I'll do step 1, 2, 3 for this action and that's it. I'm not going to do 20 steps. I'm just going to do 3 little things and that's my action today. This is a movement that can help you. This psychophysical movement is a core distal movement. Core is in, distal is out. And that helps you with boundary setting. My space, small action, me concentrating, me being concentrated in energy, and wide open space, me allowing myself to be in the environment. Again, perfect for a chair, for walking, or just for standing on the spot. Okay? Distal, out. Now, bring your hands together and squeeze everything in, including your knees. I'm coming right down, okay? Up. This is also a wonderful lymphatic squeeze because we have lymph everywhere in our body. We have it under our clavicle, subclavicular lymph. We have lymph around our neck, under our arms, in the groin area, behind the knees. So this action, especially with a knee bend, will actually help you, particularly if it's done with a breath. Breathing in, out, in, out, in, out. One more, in, out. So this very simple motion we call core distal. It helps us with boundaries, mine and the greater whole. So it also helps you define what is yours or what is yours to do and what is part of the wider whole. So you don't have to feel as though you're taking all the responsibility yourself. Again, psychophysical connections help your brain start to move in a direction that guides your actions gently, wantingly, like you have a desire to do it. I don't know if wantingly is a word, but you know what I mean. It makes you want to do that action. Your brain is saying, yeah, I can do that. And if we can get control of our mind and body working together, we've got more chance to get things done. So I hope you've enjoyed that little class. Remember, you've got your 3-dimensional breath, which helps you do initiation. It helps you get prepared and ready and feel ready to do something. And the next stage is your boundaries. Boundaries, mine or all of ours. Am I going to keep it with me? Am I going to do this? Am I going to share the load? Am I going to open things up? So I hope that little session has helped you. And again, with the FunLife Planner, what I would say is, because you've got hourly time slots here from 6 a.m. till 9 p.m. Once you start discovering when your energetic times are, begin it with a breath, okay? Begin with your breathing ritual and sort of, you can start plugging in your energy times. I normally like to use a color code, so I use a color key to highlight times where, for example, I want to clean the house, do some exercise, go for a walk, create a little project or something like that. For me, it requires a bit of effort to get going. So I find that if I actually do my breathing first and the core distal exercises, just tells my body, okay, we can do this, we can start. Now tomorrow, I'm going to show you how we can start getting playful and curious to make things more fun. Hence, I've called this the FunLife Planner, and how we can bring our workhorse on, how we can start to action things. Because again, if you get stuck in the initiation phases, you get stuck in what has become called procrastination. And I know a lot of us don't like to stay there too long because we want to move and get things done. Although, like I said, don't force yourself. Sometimes you have to be still for a while until something happens. But if you want to help it along, then your breath, followed by core distal, boundaries. That's going to get things started. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow, and thanks again for joining me.